right, back by popular demand, we are going to be doing these Know, Like, and Trust Thursdays again. We're going to get to know, like, and trust some of the people that we network with. And today, Frank and I are going to be interviewing John Ross. He is with a title company here locally. John, tell us a little bit about the title company, and then we got a bunch of questions for you.
Okay, excellent. Affiliates Title Group. We're 12 months new, although I'm not new to the title business. Obviously, been there 38 years. So this is a unique new startup, first class, great touch title company doing residential, high-end residential business and commercial as well.
John, it's the middle of the winter. Why do you have a tan?
Why do I have a tan? Well, I just got back from a ski trip. So believe it or not, if you've never skied before, people ask, how do you get tan skiing? Well, the snow reflects the sun. And so I here.
You say you've been in it for a lot longer than this 1 year. You realize it's been 15 years since we first met?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you were just a pup.
Yeah. Well, so were you. I remember the first time we met. And I remember Blaze the first time too, when he walked in with those little briefcase.
Yeah, briefcase and a tie.
Yep. Briefcase and a tie, and I'm like, this guy's gonna be good.
Before we get into these questions, let's talk about one of the funniest times I've ever had with you. Remember when we first started our networking group way back when? One of our very first meetings, we had a guy. I don't even remember what his name was, but he showed up and he's kind of buff. He's real tan. And when he first stood up to do his presentation, we all barely knew him. We didn't know what he did. And he said, I'm so-and-so, and what I do is I'm a male stripper. And he goes through, remember that? He goes through this whole presentation about.
We were all looking at each other like, oh my God.
Seriously? Our jaws were on the floor like, oh my God, how did this guy even get invited here? And then he goes, I'm just messing with you. And he did something completely different. It was great. It was one of the best commercials I've ever seen.
Oh, it was. It was great.
All right. So let's just ask the obvious question. When you're selling real estate, why do you even need a title company? What is it that you guys do?
Well, I mean, we do a lot. There's a lot of coordination, paperwork. I mean, the number one answer is it's required, right? So we're fortunate enough to be almost a commodity that people need, right? But the truth of the matter is it's twofold. Title company serves two functions. We issue title insurance, but the whole other side to it is we coordinate with the banks. If there's a lender involved, we coordinate with both sides of the realtors. We coordinate with inspectors. We coordinate with potentially appraisers on the commercial end. Boy, we coordinate pretty much the whole project almost as much as the company building either the building or the apartments or the or if it's not even new construction, the transfer of leases. I mean, I could list 100 different things that a title company does, and nobody really knows. I mean, most people they buy a house, they deal with you, and then they go to the title company and they sign the papers.
Really, the only thing they know about the title company is the person who signs them.
Yeah, pretty much. And 99% of the time now, we send people to their house or to McDonald's or wherever they need to sign, to their workplace. I remember back in the day doing a signing myself in the middle of the street in downtown Cleveland because it was a doctor and he was in a hurry and we needed to sign. So, you name it, we do anywhere. What we're trying to get back to is
I had to go to that mental hospital in downtown Cleveland. That was a scary thing for a young kid to go to sign papers.
I bet.
So let's rewind. You mentioned title insurance because that's what's got to be there. But what is title insurance?
Yeah. So
back up one step. Who requires it? The banks require it.
The banks require it. Yeah.
At a cash deal, is it required?
Well, it's in the contract, but obviously the folks have an option. I mean, there's a big push now where people want to do away with title insurance.
Why?
Well, because of the cost, right? There's many people pushing, and there's an initiative to save money, save money, save money. You know, it's a one-time fee. It ensures that you're the owner of the property and that nobody's going to come back and take the property away from you. I mean, that in a nutshell, but there's a whole big thing to it beyond that. You know, easements that might've been missed, shared driveways. You know, if a shared driveway comes up and you don't have title insurance, listen, if you don't have title insurance, you don't have a title search. In order to issue title insurance, we have to do a title search. Title search is what's going to reveal everything about the property that happened over the last 100 years. And if you're buying something and you don't know what happened over the last 100 years, you may not even own it without title insurance. So we're guaranteeing that you own it when you buy it. Now, the banks require it because they want to be insured. They want to make sure that their lien is going to be perfected so that if they ever have to foreclose and take the property back, they can do so.
Right.
Without title insurance, they can't do that. And, you know, the number one misnomer on lenders' title insurance is they always say, well, why do I need owner's policy if the lender has title insurance? Because isn't the lender protected, and that in a sense protects me? And the answer is no. Title insurance only kicks in for a lender when they have to foreclose. That's it. There's only a claim when they go to foreclose property back. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if I was a cash buyer and I'm buying a piece of property and I don't end up getting title insurance, but down the road, the person that I bought it from, one of their heirs, or there's a discrepancy on the title, what would happen if I didn't have title insurance and that person can prove that it wasn't transferred correctly? What are the repercussions?
They go to court and they'll take the property back.
And even the cost of going to court is now yours and not the title.
Yes, 100%.
Wow.
So if I buy a piece of property, I do not get title insurance. Somebody sues me and says, hey, it's mine. I have to go to court. I have to pay everything out of my own pocket.
Yeah.
At the very least, when you have a title insurance policy, the title insurance company defends that claim, which includes going to court and paying for those legal fees to defend the claim.
The bottom line is insurance, not just title insurance, any insurance is a waste of time until you need it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, 100%.
And then all of a sudden you're going, thank God I had that policy.
I'll give you a great example. I just bought a new car 3 months ago. Got hit twice in the same week. I don't love paying my bill every year for my insurance.
Did you say you got hit or you hit somebody else?
Oh, somebody hit me twice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, parking lot, ding in the door, scrape on the side. 2 claims. Am I happy about insurance? Even car insurance? No, I don't love paying the bill, but it's peace of mind when something happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got to go pay a deductible. By the way, there's no deductible on title insurance.
Well, and there's no monthly payment either. I mean,
that's right.
What
it's one time.
Don't realize.
Yeah, and 9 times out of 10, you build it into the cost of the loan, and it's a nominal one-time fee to protect your investment. If you're buying a $500,000 house, you've got to pay $1,500 as part of your closing costs to be protected that nobody's ever going to take that away from you. It's kind of worth it.
Now, I get asked 2 questions by my clients about insurance, about title policies every time.
Yeah.
You probably do too. And the first one is, do I want the enhanced policy?
Right.
Tell us about that.
You're asking me? So the enhanced policy basically has some additional protections that could protect some things after you take title. Inflation is one, right? The cost of the policy increases as the value of the property increases to a certain extent, right? There's some provisions where it doesn't. There's some additional coverages for encroachments that are created after you take title. That's a whole nother discussion, but an encroachment is somebody has a shed that's built on the top of your property. That's an encroachment. Or a fence, their fence is encroaching on yours. There's some protections in the enhanced policy where if they put a fence up after the fact, that there are some protections there. And, 9 times out of 10, I don't see it a lot. We give people the option. We don't automatically issue the enhanced policy because it's 15% more, and the buyer getting the title insurance, if they want the enhanced policy, they're paying the entire 15% more.
Well, explain that, because here in the state of Ohio, and I don't know if it's different in other states, but here in the state of Ohio, traditionally, the owner's policy is split between buyer and seller.
Actually, in Northern Ohio, in Columbus, the seller pays the entire part of it.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's just Northern Ohio. Is that because
Yeah, just Cleveland area mainly. There's some areas where it might be split equally. That's been the standards, the practice. In a commercial transaction, it's 100% negotiated.
Right, along with everything. Right.
Yep.
Same with new construction, things like
Yeah.
that.
Builders. I mean, builders typically the buyer pays the entire cost for the title.
So real life situation, I have somebody that I know that owns a property out of state. And when they almost inherited the property. And when it transferred, title insurance wasn't there. So they're trying to go back to the co-owner that they got it from and get that transfer with title insurance. If somebody buys a piece of property, say cash, and they don't get title insurance on that property, how hard is it for the next time they go to sell or refinance to properly do that? Does that make the title cloudy?
Well, it depends what's on the title. So they can purchase title insurance at any time if they don't have it, but whatever's on that property has to be cleared. So in other words, if you buy a piece of property and you don't get title insurance, and then 3 months later you come to me and say, John, I want to get title insurance because I want to be protected. First, we do a title search. Whatever's on that title search, you now own it. State tax lien from the prior owner, you own it. Yeah. There's a shared drive, but no driveway agreement, which happens a lot. You may not even know about that because you probably paid cash and you didn't get a survey either to look at what structures on the property, if there are any, or if there's a shared driveway. We don't see what the property looks like necessarily unless we go Google Maps. We do that. We look at it, but if there's no survey ordered, you'd never know. But whatever's on that property in that title search that you didn't get title insurance prior to you owning it, you now own it. Liens and everything, taxes. Maybe you bought a house in the city of Cleveland because you're an investor and you decided, well, it's a flip, I'm not going to get title insurance. And then you go to flip it. We see this all the time. Go to flip it and there's a shared driveway, but no drive agreement. Bank's not going to fund the new owner on that one. Or maybe they got it from the bank. Nobody cut the grass for 6 months and the city slapped $5,000 worth of grass cuttings on the taxes.
Yeah.
You're stuck with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lot more to just getting a title insurance policy. It's doing the research and having us help clean up people's mistakes from the past. That's probably the best way to explain it.
Okay. So, I mean, that's what we're here for on this call is when you talk about title companies, most people don't know or understand why they need one.
Yeah.
And if you're doing a transaction that doesn't involve a realtor or a lender, how important it is to still get one and have them handle your transaction. So,
100%.
And John, title insurance rates are set by the state, correct?
Yes. In state of Ohio, they are. In most states, they are. They're called scheduled rates.
Right. So really, we like to use John quite a bit, and the reason why is because we know they're going to handle our business for us. It's not because they're cheaper, because everybody pays the same title insurance rates.
Yeah.
Because we know they're going to go the extra mile to make sure everything's accomplished and done.
Sure. Yep. Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of what sets us all apart. We all do.
Because we know, like, and trust them.
Yeah.
We've known John for years, probably 12 or 15 years each.
Yeah.
We like him because he invites us to his chili cook-off every year. That's it.
Well, thank you.
And we trust him because he handles
it's a relationship. It's a relationship business. I think like everything, everything you guys, you establish relationships with the folks that you're handling real estate transactions for, because the people that know, like, and trust you, they're going to come back to you. Right. And so while we build relationships and we all have friends and buddies, there's a lot of us that have been in the business for a long time that have established relationships, and because of that, we do know, like, and trust each other. I think that's really kind of the theme of what you're talking about is people do business with people they know, like, and trust, right? And you have to trust that person to put your clients in their hands to make sure that they handle them. So that's
And
what
you've got a great staff behind you too.
Yeah, I mean, that's, again, it's another thing of over the years building that trust with the people that you have come work for you or with you. You want that same know, like, and trust, because then they mirror what you do.
Right.
So that's what we've always tried to do.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, John, thank you for being our first interviewee. I
love being the guinea pig.
In 2023.
In 2023. We're gonna try to do these every Thursday just to introduce all the people that we know, because if you know Frank or I, we know a lot of people, and if you ever have a need for something, whether it be an accountant, a title company, a painter, HVAC person, you name it, we probably know somebody.
Yeah.
So reach out to us. We'll refer you over somebody that we know, like, and trust, and there's an accountability factor to that, because if they're in our networking groups, we see them every week, and we follow up with them and say, hey, how's this going, to make sure that you're getting good service at a good price.
Today alone, I referred out, because people are asking, I referred out a plumber, an electrician, a basement guy, and a gun salesman.
I believe it. I just had a closing this morning on a commercial property, and the buyer owns several Mexican restaurants and building more, and they're looking for an architect, commercial architect. Well, the building where my office is in, I know the architect who designed it, and I know that they work with the folks that I work with, and I trust them. So he's like, give them to me. I need one. It worked.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, thanks, John. I know you've been skiing and you probably got a whole lot of catch-up work to do.
Yes.
We appreciate you, and we'll do this again next week with somebody else.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John. Have a good day.
You too. Take care.
Love it.